This is Tatsu. He used to be a dangerous gang member known as the Immortal Dragon, but somehow he became a professional house husband. One day, this salesman wanted to sell some knives. Unfortunately for him, the first door he knocked on was actually Tatsu's house. Despite being scared, the salesman still attempts to sell the knives to Tatsu. Tatsu decides to test the knife out by making a hamburger steak plate. The salesman seems to enjoy the meal that Tatsu made, and he decides to give up his life of scamming. The next day, Tatsu ran into this guy who used to be his lackey named Masa. Tatsu somehow convinced Masa to take a cooking class with him. Masa got angry at Tatsu and started yelling at him. After Masa slapped the meal that Tatsu made, he beat the ever-living shit out of Masa, and then they cleaned up the mess right after. The next day, Tatsu crashes into this car and accidentally runs into the ops. The ops chase Tatsu into the mall in this high-quality 4K animation. It turns out that Tatsu was trying to buy some items that were on sale. After the sale ended, Tatsu scolded his ops for not grabbing anything valuable. The ops pull a blicky on Tatsu, but Tatsu maneuvers and puts the gloves on his op. The op goes into a flashback and then proceeds to have an emotional breakdown. This is Miku. When she got back from work, Tatsu surprised her with a birthday present. Unfortunately, Miku already had the birthday present he bought. Tatsu tried to chop off his finger, and Miku chin-checked him. One day, Tatsu stepped out of the house to run some errands. After he left, the cat went on a little walk around town. While on his walk, the cat ran into a dog named Elizabeth. Elizabeth was tangled up because of her leash, so instead of helping her, the cat made it worse and left. The next day, Tatsu gets a call that the boss is arriving soon. Tatsu then employs the robot vacuum to clean his house. While the robot vacuum was on, the cat accidentally got caught under it, jumped in the air, and dropped all the wine on Tatsu. The boss in question was actually these two ladies from the Women's Association, and they walked in right as the accident happened. This lady asked Tatsu to babysit her son Ryota for the day. Tatsu made him some cookies, and they played some questionable games. While Ryota was running around with Miku's figurine, he tripped and it broke. Tatsu and Ryota decided to bury the figurine outside. While they were burying the figurine, Miku came back from work. Tatsu and Ryota told her what happened, and she came in clutch with some super glue. One day, Masa ran into the ops. He went on Google and searched for a how-to not get jumped tutorial. To Masa's luck, Tatsu showed up right on time. Tatsu slapped Masa and told him to fight his own battle. The ops were planning on backing off, but they switched up last minute and hit Tatsu with the wooden plank he was holding. The ops tried to stab Tatsu, but he managed to block the knife with a book. After the ops ran away, Masa was inspired by Tatsu, and he asked Tatsu to train him. We don't know if he agrees or not, but we do know that the two of them built this nice little chair. Why is Tatsu sitting on the chair like Andrew Tate? One day, Tatsu was hula hooping. Miku didn't want Tatsu hula hooping in the house, so she recommended that he go to a fitness class. Tatsu was in that fitness class going crazy. After the fitness class, Tatsu accidentally walked into the women's locker room. He immediately apologizes and asks for punishment. The next day, Miku and Tatsu go shopping. While Tatsu and Miku were arguing, there were some people around who thought that Tatsu was scary. Miku lets him know that his appearance is frightening and that he needs to buy new clothes. Tatsu came through with whatever this is. Not gonna lie, if it's between being chopped up by the cartel and wearing this, I'm letting the cartel chop me up. One day, Tatsu's cat got caught taking a number 2 in someone else's yard. The other cat tries to stop him, and even lets Tatsu's cat take a crap in his litter. Unfortunately, it was too late, and bro left everything in the yard. We go into a flashback of this scary-looking guy getting out of prison, and nobody came to pick him up. Back in the present, Tatsu is training Masa on shopping strategies. The two run into the same guy from the flashback. This is Korojiro, and at one point in time, he was considered Tatsu's only rival. Korojiro cuts Tatsu's cheek and blames him for his entire gang being wiped out. Tatsu and Korojiro then go into a cooking competition. They both posted their desserts on Instagram, and they both got no likes. So, I guess nobody wins. One day, Miku and Tatsu are at a car dealership checking out some cars. Miku and Tatsu decide to do a test drive on this car right here. Tatsu started hallucinating and he was tripping the absolute f*** out. Then he stepped out of the car as if he didn't just have a full-on episode. One day, Tatsu shows up at Masa's house so he can help him out with laundry. The thing is, Masa's a dirty guy, so Tatsu had to bring out the big guns. Tatsu came up with some oxygen bleach and went to town on those stains. After they finished, they left the clothes outside to dry. However, one of the shirts they cleaned flew off the rack and landed in a puddle. Tatsu realizes that he has way too many items, and Miku recommends that he sell them at a flea market. It's easier said than done, and Tatsu hasn't made a single sale. While trying to make sales, the ops pulled up and started harassing the civilians. Tatsu tries to sell the ops some of his items, but they misunderstood and the boss passed out. One day, Tatsu was growing some plants, but the police were spying on him. They assume that he is on some Breaking Bad timing. Tatsu leaves the house and the police pursue him. Tatsu arrives at a train station, meets up with Masa. It looks like they are doing a substance deal. The police keep following Masa and Tatsu all the way to a tea house. The police bust in through the door, but it seems that Tatsu and Masa are just attending Madam Chairman's birthday party. The stuff that Tatsu gave Masa was just basil, and the stuff in the briefcase was just some flowers crushed in salt. The boss from a few episodes ago was training his knees so he could face the immortal dragon. The moment he saw Tatsu, he folded faster than you could say fold. Tatsu is at the gym playing some volleyball. After they finished a match, they had to go up against these scary-looking men called the Bears. After an intense haiku episode, Team Tatsu lost, but the captain of the Bears did the stand proud, you are strong pose, and they took a picture. Miku gets off of work early and accompanies Tatsu on a shopping spree. Tatsu was actually collecting stickers, so he could win a Dyson vacuum in this raffle ticket game. Unfortunately, he only won a stuffed animal. The next day, Miku's parents plan an unexpected visit. Tatsu served them some tea and some cake, and they were impressed. Miku's dad is a bit of an awkward guy, so he and Tatsu head to play catch. Tatsu's a little too good at catch, and he sent Miku's dad flying. One day, Miku came back from work, and Tatsu was in the middle of battling a cockroach. Tatsu ran out of bug spray, and the cockroach landed on his chest. Tatsu told Miku to hit the cockroach before it got away, but she has stormtrooper aim and missed. The next day, Tatsu offers to volunteer as Santa for some kids. Normally, Santa has toys as presents, but Tatsu gives out whole rotisserie chickens and crab legs. After he left, he got stopped by the cops. But he's not black, so they let him go. The name of the anime is called The Way of the House Husband. If you want a part 2, make sure to subscribe and like the video. Comment down below if you have any other anime recommendations.